back again with Lawrence Krauss. I keep bringing him up and somebody's trying to push him down. But anyway, let's see what happened. They pulled this thing up. I said I'm in the story though, but in multiple ways. Just in weird, obscure. If you were not paying attention, you missed all this on my side. Okay, really. Jeffrey Epstein emails revealed depth of ties to high-profile scientists. Like, this is new. This is not new for most of us that were paying attention early on. That's why I was saying I needed to figure out what the year was, because it goes back a bit. And yep, it's back to the 2010, 11, 12, that whole little thingy right there. And at some point I caught wind of Lawrence Krauss, just like I caught wind of the Kevin Spacey, and I caught wind of some other people. But yeah, Lawrence was another one where I was like, that dude is creepy. I mean, even more so on this one, because he was justifying being with the 13-year-old and then turning Jeffrey into this poor victim. He's a poor, weak billionaire that just cannot get a break. That's how he painted him. It was cute. But no, I mean, I was following him for a hot minute and I was like, this guy's so gross. Like, why am I doing this? Because everybody keeps saying, like, he's really smart. You should listen to him. And I give him about a minute and I'm like, he's actually really dumb. I'm going to read his dumbness in a second and you're going to see why I thought he was dumb. But so did a whole bunch of women. They were like, what? Okay. So they put more emails out. Now, I may still have it on my channel. Like, I don't even know where it is. If it got shot down, I don't even know where it is, you guys. If it got shot down, I don't know it's gone. But I actually had, like, all the screenshots of his woman talking as they were being confronted about some issues. Jack Dorsey is so involved. It's not even funny. Ugh. Anyways, but he was totally fine with all the pedophiles on his website. Big time. Big time. That's Jack Dorsey too. There's a lot of things in this story you guys are not paying attention to, such as government's involvement, social media involvement, the giants of social media. There's a tank of stuff. You thought the Harvey Weinstein Black Cube thing was weird. When it popped up, I was like in question about it because I was like, you guys, all this other stuff is happening to me. It's like a gaslight because you don't know who it's coming from. And then after that happened, there was still more stuff. There's all kinds of crazy over here. It's just here, there, hacking, stealing phones, trashing my cars, calls from Canada. Oh, the Canada ones are creepy ass. Canada, a number of things, you guys, just a number of things that it's just a constant everyday thing. Oh, we're going to get you in trouble today. Oh, we're going to start hiding information. You can't look into Google anymore. Yeah. They're people. You're talking, let's take a comparison. Harvey Weinstein versus multi-billionaire clans of clowns. I mean, I do believe that Harvey's like in the circle of this, totally. But whatever the hell they're doing here, it's like high tech. It's like high tech, and involving everybody that owns everything. I said all these guys own everything. Jeffrey Epstein is like a person in the room. It's like a person in the room. A person in the room. He's not the room. But one of my favorite targets. No, he's not my target. He's not a target. It was that I was really going heavy on this particular person because he was most biggest narcissist out here talking. They want to focus on Trump totally on this. And it's like, sure, he's probably totally in the story for some bad reasons. But there's a lot of people. And the newly released emails also contain numerous communications between Epstein and well-known scientists and academic. Among them, astronomer Lawrence Krauss, economist and former Secretary of the Treasury Lawrence Summer, and linguist Noam Chomsky, who corresponded with Epstein even after his 2008 conviction for sex crime. Krauss is a former member of Scientific American Boards of Advisors. He was removed from the board in 2018 following allegations of sexual misconduct. The record shows that Krauss, author of the best-selling 1995 book, the physics, Star Trek, exchanged more than 5 dozen emails. 5 dozen email. Oh wait, I haven't clicked on this yet. The whole thing of that, but hold on. Who is a financial supporter of Arizona State University Origins Project when it was led by Krauss. All these men are like, the true prostitutes where they're like bending over for some guy and they, give him a circle, you know what? And he's like, oh, can you give me some money? Rain on me, baby. Rain on me, Jeffrey. Okay, so that's what's going on here. The messages reportedly included an email from Krauss dated to 2018. He asked Epstein for advice on how to address sexual misconduct charges. The astronomer then faced an Arizona State University, according to science journalist Dan. Epstein apparently suggested break the charges into ludicrous, ogling jokes, etc. Ladies, I'm going to tell you something, and I told you something when this came out. These men know exactly what they did. They didn't believe you were lying. Nothing like that. It's just jokes, honey. It's just jokes. They are very calculated. I like this case a lot better than the rest because it just really shows it. It's just like, come on. Just throw this out there. The public is stupid. They're not all Harvard people. They're not as smart as we are. Women are dumb. Women are dumb, okay? So we're going to gaslight them. Basically, that's the whole thing. We're going to gaslight them and make them think that we don't believe them and call them all liars and re-offend on them, okay? All right, dude. All right. You guys are just brilliant out here. Bravo! It worked! Yeah! Okay, so that's where that landed. Because women, they're like, women are stupid. Okay, so yeah, buying into this, figured out after a point, right? They're all doing it. And it's like, when you did something wrong to somebody. This is not a thing. It's like, wow, I raped her. I absolutely don't remember that. Did that actually happen? I mean, my body was doing it, but I wasn't present. She's lying. Yeah, no. This is them in real life, in the background, talking shit. Okay, so they, according to the emails in 2015, okay, so now it goes into the other guy, which I don't care about right now. So yeah, so what I could see here is, let me see on the other emails. He's probably like, Jeffrey, can you help me? Jeffrey, can you help me? Concentrate on your point-by-point refutation article on what... Jeffrey Epstein totally types like me, and it's like hilarious in this other weird way, but article on women agreeing, it's the one finger typing, and then middle thought, middle thought, one finger typing. If you guys don't notice this, because I do this, so it is, it's like, does not capitalize, and then it's like kind of in a mishmash, like together. Yeah, totally. And then that's just how it is. Women agreeing on seeing flying saucers does not make the claim real. Break the charges into ludicrous. Making women sound crazy. So, and it has worked, right? It has worked throughout, history here. But I'm glad it's exposing this because these are narcissists. So this is why I got so into this topic, because I was like, oh, we got duped up in here by some piece of shit men. They're all rapists. Am I wrong? No, this is them in the background. This is them this is the men's locker room, okay? Where women don't even do this crap. We're in the background. Okay, all of us narcissists, socios, whatever, ASPD, psychopaths, we all get together. We're all a pile of shit. All right. So, if the public ever tries to come out, we got all this money. We also got a lot of power. We got our tech friends. There's going to be things in here that are not going to be in emails. And, so if you think Harvey Weinstein used these Black Cube things or any of these other agencies, this dude, he's got a little bit more finger action. I mean, he's got a little bit more action. Okay. So I was like, okay, who would it be? There's a lot of stuff in this because the camp that I'm dealing with ain't this powerful on his own. I mean, I've known them for 10 years and No, they were like wannabe, like the dude that was coming at me, the perpetrator himself. Like they just started learning to do like website stuff. And at no time is anybody like this big time, like I know how to program, things for hacking. I don't know what the hell was going on there. There was hacking at that time. But then it was like later, like all this stuff was happening. Like they went into my accounts, my websites. You could tell that the gangbanger cops were doing it, but they're in tie with this. Like I keep stressing, it's like all the stories that I've talked about, they're actually all together. And it started before we could vote, actually. It started before we could vote, and it's part of Christianity. I was like, it is. They don't want to admit it. Other professional that you hear is going to tell you it in a very similar way. They may use different wording, but there's some things that are actually understudied right now, and I'm on it. I was trying to do a whole other clip on it, actually. You guys are going to be frightened. I mean, I'm frightened, like just reading statistic, but also that women are a huge part of this problem because these are your sons and these are the sons that you created. How did you create the sun? We could actually start to answer this thing. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But we're not going to do that right now. Okay, so let's see. I had my call with the bulletin. I'm going to take voluntary leave at chair board. Allowing me, my God, I need better, I can't see the screen. Okay, allowing me to make nice statements about me and how the board appreciates me. And how the board oh wow, what a narcissist. Okay, he appreciate me and he's never had a complaint. How professional I am and how they hope I will return after the subs. Okay, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to have to go through this on a separate time because if they're saying there's like 65 some odd pages, I'm going to have to sit through it. I do believe that Jeffrey and them actually did actual legitimate targets, like really legitimate targets through the biggest company, the biggest website people ever. Like they own everything. I'm not kidding. I was like, I kept having all these things happen. And I'm like, you're not having it happen over there? Oh, you didn't get the phone number thing every day. Oh, that's Jack. And Jack's really good friends with some of his friends over there. So, Jack probably went over to his house. Lawrence Krauss. Let's go back to this because now we know that he asked Jeffrey for help. Okay, he asked Jeffrey for help. Can you help me out here? Can you help me out, Jeff? Because he was his biggest defender. Lawrence Krauss was Jeffrey Epstein's biggest defender. And there's a lot of people that were too young when this came out. So they may not know it. So I'm more than happy to drag him by the hair that he has left. If he has any. Back over here. So Rebecca Watson and everybody on this website did a wonderful job. So very professional wise, the way they did this. But then I had to go at him. Then I had to go at him. Okay, so she did a wonderful job on this site. I know I ran through it probably not even that long ago. I have to keep it in the forefront of my brain because there were some allegations here that never really kind of surfaced, and you have to believe it on a level because of the comments made. Before we even hit the story, if you hire somebody for a job and you're like, I'm working for Jeffrey Epstein, right? He's going to have my ID, right? I mean, he should by law because I'm supposed to report it, right? Unless it's some under the table criminal action. And if you had $1 billion, wouldn't you want to know all the information to everybody around you? That's going to be a normal thing. It can be used as blackmail, but you have to understand on the flip side, there's some people that would kidnap a billionaire and, hold him for ransom. So I would suspect you would be a little ultra cautious about your surroundings. Wouldn't you guys think so? Even though we've never been there? Yeah, I would think so. Most people, even some celebrities, they don't really run around with security, but sometimes they do. I would say, it depends on the situation, right? I mean, if they're going into a grocery store and it's just some like everyday actor, it would be ridiculous. It's like, look at me. Look, I'm important. Like that would be the biggest narcissist moment ever. I have 2 security guards with me going shopping. I'm just saying. So to believe that he wouldn't know ages is ridiculous. But Lawrence wants to pretend stupid here. Now, it's actually good that you see the private emails because he's plotting, right? So they're going back and forth about, okay, how do I lie? Okay, so let me say stuff like this. So now when you reread this, so if you read it before and you thought it was bad the first time around in 2011, reread it now, and then he's just bullshitting you even more. It's just dark. It's disgusting. One of the friends defending Epstein is none other than Lawrence Krauss, former guest on my show. I haven't seen that. I never clicked on that, but it's just going to be him talking. Okay, he's invoking the name of science to do it. Yeah. Okay. If anything, the unfortunate period he suffered, has caused him to really think about what he wants to do with his money and his time and support knowledge, says Krauss. Like, he's his spokesperson. I love this. It is just, he's like the water boy in the room. And he reminds me of my perpetrator. That was with the other camp. That was their water boy. And it's totally that. All right, you go out there, Krauss. You go defend my name. Jeffrey has surrounded himself with beautiful women and young women. All right, stop right there. You need to stop her, go define young women. But then he does this thing. It's like, what? But they're not as young as the ones that were claimed. But there was a 13-year-old and he totally justified it. As a scientist, I always judge things on empirical evidence, and he has always had women ages 19 to 23 because I pulled out their ID and I was accused of having orgies and setting it up. Okay, around him, but I've never seen anything else. So a scientist, my presumption is that whatever the problems were, I would believe him over other people. I have a bias because he is my friend. Though, and men do this. So he's praising Jesus, right? The Son of God. Okay, totally. Men do it too. I just want to point that out because women do the whole thing like I submit to the man. Men do too. And they have a special love for each other that crosses lines. Though colleagues have criticized him over his relationship with Epstein, Krauss insists, I don't feel tarnished in any way by my relationship with Jeffrey. I feel raised by it. I love this. You can tell he's such a narcissist too, right? You get the gist of this guy, but the 19 to 23 thing was a big flag. This is a flag. I was like, you didn't say like 18 to 25, anything like that. So the way the site, Rebecca or whatever on here like frames this, it's so funny. It's all, did Jeffrey Epstein pay for sex with underage girls? So the purpose, okay, my rich friend went to jail for paying for sex with underage girls, but he seems like such a nice friend and funder of scientific research. Hypothesis. Those girls were totally 18, at least. Okay, so then it goes, I observed the subject, Jeffrey Epstein, for several hours, over several days, over the course of several years. I paid close attention to what girls he was with, and I guessed approximately how old each girl sort of looked. I assumed that whenever he was out of my sight, he was doing the same things he did in my presence. Results. All those girls I saw totally looked at least 18. Wait, let's say 19 because 18 sounds a little too on the nose. I thought a little deeper about that thing, but yeah, that part was like really weird. I was like, there's a reason why he's flinging out oddball ages. Like, it's so 19 to 23. But he contradicts himself by saying who would know because who would ask for an ID? So then where would you get these weird oddball ages? Conclusions. There is no way that the subject had sex with anyone under the age of 18. Recommendation. Jeffrey Epstein should be free from any further civil or criminal prosecution, and hell, he should be given a humanitarian award for all the money he's given to scientific research. Now, see, isn't that the same thing? Exchanges for Michael Jackson, exchanges for any predator that has been accused out here, where someone's like, oh, even Johnny Depp. Oh, by the way, Johnny Depp was a big fan of this dude. Okay, so anyway, yeah, so we should just ignore it because someone said, wow, he saved me from my drug issues. So therefore, he's totally innocent. Okay, yeah, it's totally that. And this is pretty low IQ of even Krauss. I mean, he's like outright like, I have a bias because he is my friend. This is all I know. So I'm acting like I am a know-it-all, and this is the end of my research. I don't know, it's just really weird. But let's see. When the skeptics received this tip, we wondered if the quote was taken out of context. After all, we all admire Krauss for his books. Not me, books, talks, and public outreach. So I emailed Krauss to get his thoughts directly, and he confirmed that the statement was accurate. And sent a statement, which I'm printing as is in full. See below, edit for additional info. Yes, it is. Based on my direct experience with Jeffrey, which is all I can base my assessment on, he is a thoughtful, kind, considerate man who is generous to his friends. And all of the women I have known who have been associated with Jeffrey speak glowingly in the same words. Jeffrey apparently paid for massages with sex. Excuse me? The line isn't right. That he paid for massages with sex? Oh my god. No, wait, this is... I never saw it this way. Wait. Okay, so did you give him a massage and then he gave you sex? Or is it in the reversal role that you... This is the moment of Jesus Christ. Krauss came in and knelt down and started giving Jeffrey Epstein a foot massage, and he paid him with sex. Jeffrey apparently paid for massages with sex. What the hell? I don't remember this line being... Oh, okay, hold on. I believe him when he told me he had no idea the girls were underage. Okay, if Jeffrey... Okay, so we don't know... there's some back emails. I don't know if he actually told him that. We don't know if he told him that. He could just be making that up right there. But it's like, Jeffrey's like, no, I had no idea the girls were underage. And he's like, okay, I believe anything you say, Jesus Christ. Okay. And I doubt that people normally are asked for a ask for or present a driver's license under such circumstances, right? So he's talking about us men have the right to demand sex from all these kids, and of course we don't ask for driver's license because we don't care. Okay, so he's like, moreover, I also believe that Jeffrey is an easy target for those who want to take advantage of him. You know, the only people that are like kind of some of the people up here, oh, you too, Lawrence, because you want his money, right? So you're being kind of a prostitute, right? So you're being a prostitute by licking up on his lap, right? That's exactly it. And so you're the one that I would have to watch out for. So of course you want to be the lap dog and put this crap out here. Did you get an additional funding for doing this? I think so. And then he paid for the massage with sex. Okay, so then who pays for the massages with sex? Jeffrey apparently paid for massages with sex. That's what he said. This is a science guy. But I like how he embodies Jeffrey Epstein. And I'm just, this person here just, whoa, with me. Okay, moreover, I can say with great honesty that Jeffrey's time in prison led him to seriously examine his life in very positive ways. And I don't believe in blanket condemnations of people. And he served time for something that was determined was inappropriate. I honestly don't know who was the victim in this case. And he doesn't capitalize. Probably everyone. What you sometimes want to question, is this Jeffrey? Because Jeffrey types like me. If you ever see any typing like me, that's Jeffrey Epstein. Okay. Probably everyone was a victim with no happy resolution or consequences of these activities. I fully expect that these masseuses knew what they were doing. These children knew exactly what they were doing. And they were not swayed to do anything with Jeffrey. Like, he knows he's totally there. He doesn't know. But he's doing this job for Jeffrey. He's his lapdog. We're not swayed to do anything with Jeffrey that they were not already doing. They're a bunch of sluts. These women were already, doing massages for sex. Not for money, but for sex. Like this whole thing. Okay, this is not to approve of the whole behavior. But, and this is where it gets even worse, because he goes like this. There's lots of people that I know that like have behavior I don't entirely approve of. And I'm sitting here like, wow, who's worse than Jeffrey? What were they doing? That you got some friends? Who are these friends? Can you let us in on this one? I know it is not politically correct to say that, because in general, this is a very sensitive issue, like molesting kids is like, totally, I get it. Not really. I don't care. And all the things being equal, one should take the side of the young woman. Well, this could have been young boys, right? It could have been young boys. There could be boys up in here too, and they just haven't even dragged that thing out. But all things are not equal in this case. All right, ladies, from my point of view, it is a judgment call, and I will not turn my back on a good friend so easily. Jeffrey, I need your money. Jeffrey. Yeah, it's like, that's this dude. I go, you cannot not latch onto this dude because he's so asinine. Okay, wait, so then... Oh, she did point this out. Epstein didn't pay for massages with sex. He was charged with admitting to paying for massages and sex with underage girls. I don't remember that line, though, for some reason. I've read this thing a million times. This ain't right. It must be because when I was reading it, I know what it meant, and then I just rearranged it in my brain to be what it was supposed to be. Oh my God, it's funny as hell. Both of them have grammatical errors. You guys pick on me, and I actually got an A in English. I got an A in English. No, and I know my spelling and punctuation and grammar is totally atrocious. But I actually got an A because just like this dude, it's like his smarts isn't in grammar. Okay, but yeah, if you look at the Jeffrey Epstein, it is like mine. It's funny as hell. I was just like, oh wow, I guess I'm not the only one. Is he a high functioning? I don't know. I have read on WebClick. Okay, so he wanted to also add the following, which again, I post as is and in full. This is why I don't like censorship. This is perfect because it's like you guys have your stance and he has his, and we're going to listen to both sides, right? We're going to listen to all the sides of this. And it just is comical at times because when men are really forced out here on their own and you just listen to them and you're like, what the hell happened in society? I don't know how this even... These guys are dangerous and they're idiotic. Okay. I have read on the web claims of orgies on Jeffrey's... Why are you looking at orgies? I think, you know what? This might be... Oh. I didn't know what he was talking about. I still didn't know where he's reading this, but the website that I saw was it was like a breakdown of the case. And maybe in that thing, it might have talked about he was having orgies on the island. It might have actually was going into this thing about what he was doing with all these young girls on the island. And I think it's pretty legit, most of the stuff. But they put him in it, but I wouldn't have known at the time because I didn't know who the hell he was at a moment. And then I knew who he was after people like Kyle Kalinske. I think it was the group of the Young Turks or some other people. And then if you guys remember, at that point, they started actually trying to ask for the AOC to be lowered because they all got touched. It was crazy. And we're standing here going, I'm like, I'm not standing. I'm sitting on my computer and I'm like, what the hell? And then there was a few people going, no way, man. So it was feeding into this group of people. And then, of course, Lawrence Krauss is going to be for lowering the AOC, because it's going to help his lapdog, because he's a lapdog to Jeffrey. It's going to help him out so he never gets in trouble again. And we're supposed to allow rich men to just treat women or little boys like objects of their sexual, pleasure. Okay. So pretty much that's where they were at. And then gaslighting. And so they were plotting in the background. Okay, it's time to gaslight these victims and the public. So we're just going to F around. We know we did all this stuff, but they just don't understand. We're totally into this and we have the right to, but you know what I mean? Here's my finger. Okay, so I have read on the web claims of orgies on Jeffrey's Island during scientific meetings that I organized. Orgies in which I was supposed to have been involved. There's actually no denial. There's no denial. He starts to flip it and make you question your sanity. So this is crazy. He's like, this kind of nonsense has made me very skeptical of media reports on Jeffrey's activities. Moreover, I am naturally skeptical by nature and have looked into a number, it should say sociopathic by nature, looked into a number of these supposed events. He's like, and have looked into a number of these supposed events, but I'm not going to share any details with you because I don't think these are issues that are relevant to Jeffrey's support of science. It's like he knows if he's the one that actually set it up, then he would know, but he's turning it around like, I don't think it's important and I know the truth and we need to focus on his science, okay? Him raping everybody in orgies, it's not that important, okay? Yeah, that's him. My scientific credentials, okay? It's not relevant to Jeffrey's support of science and I like how he puts Jeffrey first because Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, okay, and then me, scientific credentials, or that I should discuss in public in any case. We're not going to tell you the truth of what we all did. I will, however, that as a skeptic, you might ask yourself, that is like the thing right there. Oh no. Talking heads. Okay. You might ask yourself whether there might, I can never read this right again. You might ask yourself whether there might be any motivation. I gotta get serious. This is really, okay. You might ask yourself whether there might be any motivation to potentially sue a billionaire with it. Now, okay, now he's questioning your sanity, right? Like, I'm going to give you some doubt in your brain of any truth to this. But he never denies it, did he? In fact, he's actually saying like something happened, but it's none of your business and we're going to move this case on. But you should also question your sanity of who might have been involved in one way or another. Someone who might rather settle out of a court for a large fee rather than have to deal with publicity. Sleazy journalists, etc. No, that never happened, does that? Never happens. No. Not very skeptical of you to wonder, I think. So is my perpetrator. That's why I hated this. Because it was this game of never answering a direct question. Did he answer anything here? He's playing a game through this paragraph. It's like, where did we land? So I learned to read through this because he did it to me. And the wonderful thing that he did it to me is that I know the truth of the story. So I don't have to fish for like, what's the truth of the story for somebody else? Like he's talking to someone else like this. So I had to sit down with it and I was like, oh, okay. So he throws this thing out and I did it with Kevin Spacey too, because he tried to do that too. So I was like, Oh, he actually didn't deny anything, did he? Did you guys notice that? But when people first read the response that was similar to Kevin Spacey's thing, they took it as a denial. And at no time is there a denial in the story. I go, wordage, right? Wordage. The wordage, the presentation. He was jumping around it. It was just like this. It was exactly like this. And I go, he didn't deny it. He's just making justifications for doing it, but it was admitting that he got a kid. He did, and then playing like, I'm an innocent victim over here that, I don't know anything. Yeah, and I'm like, what the hell? And then he steers the story off. And then at the same time starts degrading me. So he's degrading the victims, right? He starts in the same fashion, okay? It's very specific with these guys. So it told me, I go, Lawrence Krauss is guilty as shit. So I latched onto his ass. I latched onto his ass because it was like so obvious from that type of statement. So then what happened was I had found his girl's, is it a wife, girlfriend? The Twitter. Because Jack Dorsey is totally pro pedo, because the whole site was like promoting raping 12-year-olds actually on Twitter this whole period right here, actually, because I was on it. And she posted something that was really interesting and gross. Basically saying, you just don't understand us. Like some people are just into things that you're not, kind of a thing like that. I don't have it with me right now. It may be in a video, but maybe that video is kapoop. I don't know, because that's what YouTube was doing. Can't say, because I haven't needed to pull it up in a long time. It's probably not there. They were doing censorship. So they were trying to censor. Okay, so then it started becoming, okay, no, we got to protect our house, right? Did you guys not remember this? Or like, we're not paying to let anybody do videos with the word rape in it, but we're going to let guys promote rape and call women liars. Okay, that's totally fine, guys. That's totally fine. That's business, okay? You want to call my B word? All right, we're going to pay you. So the honchos of YouTube and Google seem to have taken part in some conduct here. Now, Google got in trouble too as well for conduct inside their company. So then you have to deal with this tech crap here. So they're trying to protect their house. I mean, it's just this whole series of people that you guys do not understand. And I kept saying it, and they love that no one's listening to me. So then they really made it where no one listened to me. Like they started doing like target attacks and then programming stuff and then manipulating to get people on the side to promote a censorship. And yeah, it's pretty bad. It's really bad. Like they're not even going to get to the entirety of this thing just by throwing out celebrity names and politicians and stuff like that. There's quite a universe of things going on here. So I'm getting pissed about it because as I stop bringing up Clinton's like hardly part of the story. Lawrence Krauss is way more part of the story than a Clinton. So then after this happened, he gets all these allegations. Lawrence Krauss, you could totally tell. I said he's a rapist. He's a pro into kids. He's pro into no agency. Because at any time does he think? Did you read through any of this thing to show that he is? Does he even care about agency? At no point in that whole thing does he care about agency. No, not at all. So what that tells you when you read something like that, and I'm trying to teach people this too. So anytime you read something in that fashion, what it tells you is they're a rapist right away. I mean, right away, they're not for consent. So they're anti-agency, and he's a narcissist, and he makes up stuff for some other rich dude. So he's a prostitute. Okay. So then we have him getting busted about 10 million times after the fact in the 2018 portion, I guess it was. He doesn't get arrested for anything. Like this guy is the biggest sex offender out here and he doesn't even get arrested. Lawrence Krauss. Like he's like an assistant to the human trafficker, right? Him coming out like this, he's assisting cover up. He goes to Jeffrey, as they just said in the background, and asks him for help how to maneuver this. Jeffrey, can you tell me how to do this? You know what I mean? Because like, yo. Like, yo. But he didn't get in trouble right here. We don't know how many people are involved in this thing. Like, there's so many. Like, if you just talk about that scientific orgy, we don't know what happened right there. He didn't deny it. He didn't deny it. He steered you off the cliff. And he's like, I don't think, I'm not going to talk about that. An orgy could have happened, but it's science and me that you need to pay attention to. My brain and Jesus Christ Jeffrey. Okay? See y'all.